Oh my goodness. Can you see me? I can't see myself. Are you there? Are you there, God? It's me. What was her name? Remember that book? Are you there, God? It's me, Margaret. Is it Margaret? Um, what was that story? Oh my God, that was a very, very famous novel, coming of age. This little girl, she didn't have breasts, and she was trying to get bigger breasts. She's like, I must increase my bust. Do you remember that book? I forgot. I've forgotten the title. Anyway, no, I don't need to increase my bust, darling. I don't need to increase those. Those need to stay exactly as is or reduce, but not get bigger. Okay, so good morning and welcome once again to my YouTube channel. I can't see myself. It's partly the glasses. Um, if you're new here, I talk about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex, Prince Harry, Duke of Sussex, and his wife, the beautiful Meghan, Duchess of Sussex. Okay, I have self-appointed myself their greatest defender, and so this whole YouTube channel is dedicated just to them. Excuse me, I just burped. Sorry, it's this. It makes me burp. So what am I talking about today? So today I wanted to talk about. Well, today I'm doing like a slew of videos because I have some extra time. I was supposed to have a student this morning. Got up at 4:30 in the morning to get prepared to go, and then had this text message from the student saying that today was not possible. So it left me with quite a bit of time um, to just like blow in the wind. So I figured, okay, just keep busy and make some new videos. Even though I feel like I shouldn't make too many videos too quickly because I think it's sort of overwhelming to the viewers. But um, knowing myself, it's probably better to make make them when I feel the urge, because you never know when I'll just have this drought where there's just nothing that comes out of me creatively. And I'm very sort of like feast or famine kind of a girl in some ways. So it's better to just make them when I can. But at the same time, I feel like I'm like doing too many too quickly, and being very boring to the viewer and stuff like that. Anyway, yeah. So it's did I say it's Thanksgiving in America today? And so happy Thanksgiving, America. Most of my viewers are from America, so um, happy Thanksgiving. Don't overeat, because I think that can be so uncomfortable. I definitely have a good day and, some good turkey and, good family gatherings. No fighting, no fighting. Okay. Okay. Now, what are we going to talk about in this video? In this video, I wanted to pose the question whether Duchess Meghan's, um, podcast Archetypes, whether that's ending, because I was listening this morning to the podcast she did on Tuesday. Today's Thursday, and the last one she did on Tuesday, when she was talking about being human and stuff like that. And then the way that it was billed was that it was the penultimate podcast about, by the Duchess of Sussex. And I'm like, penultimate? First of all, what does that even mean? Because, her vocabulary is just way superior to my vocabulary. Okay. So, like, what does penultimate mean? So I looked that up, and it seems to mean that um, it's the last one, or the second to last one. And I thought, really? Is that it? I mean, is she not going to continue with this? And, you know, in a way it could be good, but, in a way it could be good, because I think if she just does it short and sweet, sometimes is better than long and drawn out, right? And I think because it seems like it started at number one and now it has fallen a little bit in the ratings. I mean, maybe less is more, and maybe, small doses or dosages are better than sort of bigger doses and bigger dosages, if you know what I mean, and especially in her case. I mean, I think a few episodes, whatever it was, 10 episodes, 12 episodes, whatever it was, I have no idea, is short and sweet. It's like a short, sweet little package. It just becomes like this iconic thing that she did, rather than, she doesn't have to be Joe Rogan or whatever his name is. Apparently, he's the number one podcaster. I've never listened to a word of his podcast. Maybe I shouldn't admit that. I don't know, but I needed that. So yeah, so I was just wondering, whether it's ending or not, and I think it, if it does, it's okay, because it's short and sweet, and she sort of touched on all of these topics, and she got a few punches in there, because I know that she wanted to have her say as well. She wanted a platform, to say her piece, and she did, and then they got the memorandum, right? They got the memorandum, and whatever their responses were or are, their responses were or are, it doesn't change that she had her piece. She said what she had to say, and she covered some very, very important topics for women and for human beings in general. And yeah, and she has so many other projects that she can work on now. I was thinking the other day when I said that Harry could do like a travel show where, America through his eyes, to all the 50 states, and, Puerto Rico, and places like that, maybe even Guam, places like that. But then I thought maybe that might be an even better idea if they, as a family, did, to an extent, without too much exposure, did, a tour of Africa, right? If every country in Africa, I mean, it would be a long project. Maybe it would take a year or two, but, and it would be like a surprise. So you wouldn't tell people ahead of time, for security reasons and other reasons, which country they would visit next. I mean, the key people would have to know for security reasons, etc. But, a show touring Africa and showing the Sussexes, you know, finding Africa or discovering Africa, the people, the food, the animals, the deserts, the oceans, the savannas, the, oh my God, I mean, the waterfalls, the poverty, but also the affluence. That, there's always been this sort of one-dimensional, um, image of Africa that has been sold to us in the West. I mean, I was a full-blown adult maybe in the last 10 years before I realized, right, I've never been to Africa. I've never been to any country in Africa. That's something I will hopefully remedy soon. But, just seeing certain images on television of Africa was so eye-opening, because I just never saw those images of Africa. It's always the dilapidation and the poverty and the children malnutrition without shoes. And there's so much more to Africa than that, and realizing there are high-rise buildings and, indoor plumbing and electricity and, billionaires and, so many dimensions to Africa. And I think that might be a much better project, um, for the Sussexes. But I would like to see America too, because there's so much of America I have not seen. And I don't know, but they should do a travel show. And they can do it without sort of being so central to it, where people are invading their privacy, because, they could, it can be like a narration but cutting to the life of the people kind of thing. So, it's controlled, it's not like they're in their homes, it's just like, okay, they show up in Botswana and, they have a little conversation at the beginning or whatever, or meal or something like that. And then they cut to whatever they're highlighting in Botswana, the beauty, the struggles, the life, the humanity, Um, I'm rambling as usual. I'm going to end this here. Did I mention that this is a channel about the Duke and Duchess of Sussex? And if you're not subscribing, did I ask if you would consider subscribing? As I try to get to 200, it's going to take a while. It's definitely plateaued a bit, but yes, if you are following me already, thank you. And if you're not, consider following, okay, or subscribing, and voila. So see you in the next one. Take care. What was this all about? This was about what the heck was the topic? Whether her podcast was ending. Oh, this was about whether Meghan's podcast Archetypes is ending or not. And if you know the answer to that, let me know. Okay. Have a nice day. Bye.